Hey, you guys, welcome to Regardless. I am so excited to have you here. Regardless is the go-to hub for tips and tools to keep you going, babe, reminding you that you've got this. Okay, one more time. Sorry. I'm in a weird headspace today. I don't know. I'm just to share my emotions, but I thought I was going to be somewhere don't know. I don't feel like I am. So we just had a moment of being so real with you guys. Quite honestly, it sounds so silly, but it's really not. This brush actually just made me feel better. Regardless of feeling out of sorts, of feeling messy, of being fearful of the unknown, of just having an SOS crisis, I have Gimme. And Gimme reminds me that I'm beautiful, that my hair looks good, that I have all these incredible products here. Literally, this dry shampoo has changed my life because if I don't have to be showering every single day because I'm a busy girl, I can literally reach for this, spritz in my hair, and she looks like this. Say less. And Gimme Beauty's hair ties are perfect for my thick hair. Literally, my mom is obsessed. She stole 3 of these packages from me. It's okay. I'll share the love. But that's how good Gimme Beauty is. Not only is she so incredible to my hair, but she's also so incredible to my spirit. She's so incredible to really making me realize that, Sky, regardless of how you're feeling right now, as long as you're showing up, as long as you're real, that's all that matters. My loves, I've teamed up with Gimme Beauty to help you guys in feeling more real, more confident, more beautiful than ever. If you want 35% off everything and anything on the Gimme Beauty website, use code Skylar35. Gimme real, gimme me. Gimme Beauty regardless. Hi, Mama.
Hi.
I can't
believe this.
How do you feel that you're in the studio with me right now?
I'm really excited. It's fun.
Are you stoked?
It's kind of wild.
The fact that you've been watching it on YouTube and now you're here.
Yeah. And when we typically have done it, it's been either we try to set up a makeshift studio at the house, which has been great. But now it's we've got some real professionalism here. So proud of
I'm
you,
stoked.
girl.
I love you. I love you. I love you.
It's good. I love you too, babe.
Okay. So as you know,
Yeah.
one of my recent reels went absolutely viral. Mm-hmm. And I think this topic is something that is hitting home for not only me being 27 years old, living in LA, but also for women who are listening to this right now, sitting at home. This is so relevant, a hot topic, and something that I know we're all facing daily.
Yeah. I agree with you, Sky. And I think, as you said, women, I'm women across the board.
The board.
Right? Not only just your listeners and your followers. Yes, we're going to dig into that and unpack that. This is a really heated, powerful issue, I think, for women. And I think I'm so happy and fortunate to be here to talk to you about all this. Come on, let's dig in.
Let's do it.
Okay.
So literally, as you guys know, one of my recent posts went viral. And this post was about my experience navigating the plastic era.
Yep.
Obviously, lip fillers, Botox, plastic surgery.
Breast augmentations.
All of it.
Who knows, right?
Is has been trending. And I think it's regardless of what your age is, we are seeing this, like my mom said, across the board.
Across the board.
And so, Mom, one of my recent posts went viral, and Newsweek found me, and they were like, we love this piece of content. It's sparking tons of heated conversation, and we want to write an article about you.
Yeah.
And why you created this piece of content, and really what is the message that you wanted to share with your audience. So the Newsweek article says, women 27, so funny, woman, attends work event, has shock realization about beauty standards.
Okay. Well, girl, why don't you take us into it?
Okay.
What happened? Because something happened.
Yeah. Something
Take us
happened
back.
in the bathroom.
Okay.
And this was at like an entertainment industry work event. It was just me who went, and it was someone very high up in the entertainment industry, and it was a work like dinner, but there was a lot of people in the industry who were there.
Sure.
And so I was like, I'm going to the bathroom. Like, I just need to take a sec, because I started to find myself at the dinner compare the way that I looked to all of the other women there.
Yeah.
Like, mom, like I was the only girl there without any work done. And I just started to have a moment where I was like, I don't look like anyone else here. I'm wearing the most clothing, first of all, out of everyone. And my face looks very different from everyone else. Like, I'm not getting the same amount of attention from the other men who were there, which in that moment was like difficult for me, because
Interesting.
I obviously have been putting all of my effort and love into building this podcast, and I was there because I wanted to meet people and build those relationships. But me just being me and showing up, I wasn't getting, in my opinion, as much of attention as the other women were who did have work done.
Okay, so can we just pause here?
Yes, please.
So I think you said two really important things. No, it's good. It's good, because this is a conversation. Obviously, it's heated. Obviously, people are going to be pretty testy with things and misinterpret. So one thing that you said, which was your experience, Skylar, it sounds like, is you said, I felt like I was the only one that didn't have work done. Everyone else did. So we have to kind of be cognizant and step back and go, well, how do we really know everybody did? Right? So the other thing was you didn't get the attention you were seeking. Let's break down what attention you were needing, because there's various forms of attention, but it's such a hot buzzword, right? Maybe even for social media when, I don't know, I think you got a comment, like a hate comment about the attention seeking.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
right?
totally.
So I think like what type of attention, it wasn't like, at least I'm guessing, were you needing a man's attention to be doting on you and giving you feedback about the way you look? That is where you need to correct. Now, speak to that. What type of attention were you seeking from this event?
Interest into my career, into what I'm building. And this is like kind of what happened, because these were some of the emotions that were boiling in my seat.
Yeah.
Where I had to be like, okay, I need to go to the bathroom.
Yes.
To check in on Sky and to have a moment with Sky, because I'm like, this is not your truth. And like, why am I feeling like this way? And I don't think me saying like I didn't look like, by me being like all the other women had work done, like, that's not me to put down women at all.
No.
And I'm not like, I can tell, like you can tell if someone, I'm sorry, like has enhancements. And I was obviously the only girl who didn't, the only woman who didn't. And in that moment, I felt like I was the only different one, or maybe that meant that I wasn't enough, or what was wrong with me, that I wasn't changing or enhancing my looks because I was the only one who looked different, and I wasn't getting the same attention or the same results as these women were getting. Not that I'm labeling it as good or bad.
No.
But of course that makes any 27-year-old girl be like, what's wrong with me?
Exactly.
And so that, in that moment, when I created that piece of content, I went to the bathroom and I was like, oh my God, why am I feeling this way?
Yeah, you had a moment with yourself, right?
And I was like looking at myself in the mirror, and I like got emotional.
Yeah.
And I started crying, and I'm like, what's wrong with me? Like, I don't look like these other women. I'm not getting the same attention. I can't afford Botox. Like, what is a girl supposed to do?
Dang. What is a girl supposed to do? Right. So in that moment, you were probably in the bathroom for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And somehow.
Like literally like maybe 7 minutes.
Okay. How did you turn it around in 7 minutes? Yeah. How did you take a look in the mirror and, notice what you were feeling? And where that was taking you could have taken you to a pretty dark place.
Totally.
And it could have impacted how you left that bathroom and showed up for the rest of the evening. What did you do? Like, how did you kind of just go, okay, lean into this? And I would imagine be cognizant and aware that it wasn't about your enoughness, and it wasn't about the worth that exists within you. However, what happened is literally what we're talking about, this heated topic and what we are facing as women, and like the detrimental effects it can have on our esteem, our worth, our minds, our hearts, how we show up in relationship to others. So you kind of somehow, I think the reason why it was so beautiful is because I think you literally had a moment of reckoning with your sense of self. How did you do that?
It's really interesting because we were on a walk today and like we were kind of breaking this down, but I was able to like in that moment like pivot.
Yeah.
And I'm not even kidding you guys. Like I literally went through all of the aspects of like what makes regardless to make that internal pivot to show up as like Sky. And like regardless of that, I'm honoring me.
Yeah.
And I remember in that moment, like I allowed myself to feel the feels. I allowed myself to get insecure. I allowed myself to feel not enough. And then I just went back in self and I was like, okay, who are you? Where did you come from? What really matters?
What was your purpose for being there?
Yes. What's my why? I'm here to network.
Yeah.
I'm here to experience new relationships, to open up, to step outside of my comfort zone, to share a little more with the world about who I am, what I'm building, what's regardless. And I realized that like one of my main values of like learning and like looking inside of myself and being like, what really truly matters is like being real and being authentic. And if I'm remembered for anything on this planet, I want it to be that regardless of the noise, regardless of what judgment or what women are doing or not doing, it doesn't matter. That's all noise. What matters is that I was brave enough to be myself. I was brave enough to not feel like I had to conform to, trends or societal standards because of other people feeling insecure about not looking like everyone else.
Yeah.
So I had that moment of like reminding myself of like my values, my intentions for being there, my why. And in that moment, I was able to make that like regardless pivot. And then it ended up being like a super powerful moment between me and me.
Yeah.
To be like, babe, like regardless of this right now, like we've got this. Like get back into that room and be you and do you.
Right. So it was you against you.
Yeah.
It was all the inner parts of Skylar versus the externalities of you. And I think that's tough.
So hard, Mom.
That's tough. And I think, why do you imagine, Skylar, that this article, this experience, this TikTok, this Instagram reel, whatever why do you imagine it got so hot?
I think because this topic of like plastic surgery, lip fillers, all of it, like this is one of the hottest topics right now. And I think every single girl at home and even men can absolutely empathize and have had that similar bathroom experience that I've had. Like, oh my God, my face, I'm not looking like everyone else. Is something wrong with me? Am I not good enough? And am I not pretty enough?
Right.
Men are not looking at me the same way.
Right. Right. So you're talking about quite a few very important
Yeah.
reasons why this is such a trending topic.
Yep.
And I almost hate to say that word topic. It's an issue. It is an epidemic. It is what we are facing as females and of course males as well.
Yep.
But I agree. I think at the bottom of this, or what's really deep in this, is the psychological and emotional context of this. Is there's so much of our worth and our identity that gets tied up in our physical looks, right? And then let's bring in the aging component that we naturally cannot control. And so I think it is a very profound issue, and one that love. I mean, we have family members, close friends, that are fighting literally the clock. And so I think like reasons behind it as well, Sky, is like it's like what literally we've got the esteem issue. Yeah. We've got potentially like the multi-generational issue. Like we know people that are fighting the clock. Here it is where Skylar, you're 27, I'm 58.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm telling you right now, I have in my mind and those thoughts within myself that I'm like, holy cow, I am not stoked on certain aspects, right? Mm-hmm. But you guys, and I'm saying this to your audience.
Totally.
When I was your age, Skylar, I never thought about that. I thought maybe more about my physical body, like, am I in shape? How does my butt? Am I thin enough?
Yeah,
it was
totally.
mainly the body image. Well, the body image or body dysmorphia is extending into ageism, how we're growing, how we're moving through that evolution process. And also, how do we slow that down? Do we need to slow that down? Oh my gosh, there's so much pressure.
Yeah.
So there's societal pressure, there's internal self-imposed pressure, there's cultural standards. There's even like, if we look at it for you, maybe, I guess for still any age, are we still seen as attractive?
Yeah, I think that's a huge thing, because what I'm seeing right now is like, I think there's a difference between women older who are getting Botox and fillers. Like, to me, okay, I understand that, and you know what? One day I know that I'm probably gonna get Botox. Like, I'm not judging. There's no judgment here at all. I'm just saying it's interesting to see how women my age in our 20s, how we're changing our faces to follow in the footsteps of women who are in their 50s, 60s. Like, why are we doing that now?
I don't even know if it is in comparison to the 50s and 60s.
No, it's not.
I think like younger generation, like in the 20s, it's more cosmetic enhancement, cosmetic procedures such as the Botox or the fillers or certain laser treatments, of course, breast augmentation. There was trends in butt lifts, trends in the really curvy lower. Now the trend is not that. So let's put in a problem here. You're trying to keep up with these ever evolving trends that are being dictated or created by, I don't know. Who's the?
I guess celebrities like the Kardashians.
So they're like social media, the celebrities, the cultural, like influencer culture, like the influencers,
like the creator economy.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I didn't have to deal with any of that. So my heart goes, holy cow.
Freaking hard,
how
Mom.
can you beautiful, creative, spectacular young women that have their whole future ahead of them be bombarded with this? I agree with you, Skylar, as we age, and oh my goodness, I don't know. Of course I do Botox. I have like from years of doing therapy. Do you know how much I've frowned? So I'm like, okay, this isn't looking good, right? That's okay. The next step, do I want to go through a massive augmentation of my face? I don't know. It scares me.
Yeah.
It scares the living daylights out of me. And then we have to look at your age and mine being in my late 50s. If I start that, this is the thing. This is the problem, you guys. It doesn't end. It's like you
have to keep up with the work.
Yes. So,
which is scary.
Yeah. So I think like, what is it? Is it because it's the youth? Like you guys are comparing yourself to what you see via all these avenues we just mentioned. And also we have to look at, which I think this is interesting, Sky. It's like, is there a feminist debate around this? Meaning, are we doing these type of procedures and enhancements and full-on facelifts? Which is fine, but are we doing that because it's something that empowers us? Like, it makes us feel even more
powerful.
And
authentic and true to ourselves
and real and feel
be.
good that I'm representing that out there. Or is it oppression? Are we falling prey to what culture, society, the media, men,
other women,
intersexual competition, comparison? This is where I go, whoa, let's pause here. And so I think the heated topic is, and this is why I wanted to talk to you about this, really is important. I want us to open up this dialogue for other women and to share their experiences. What went into their decision making? How did that make them feel? How does it continue to make them feel? Does it empower them? Or did they go, holy cow, I just invested so much money and now I'm feeling kind of shamed about this because I look so different. People try to reverse what they've done. Then that's even more financial investment. So it's kind of like, I think the heated topic, Sky, goes to what I want to track here is a defensiveness. You see a lot of haters.
Yeah. And like, I want to talk about this.
Yeah, I think we should.
Because I want to bring light to some of the comments I was getting so people can understand.
I think we should.
Because the amount of comments that I got from this post, and I think the reason why it went so viral is because it sparked some crazy heated conversation. I also got a lot of love and I got a lot of people thanking me for opening up spaces for people to be real about their experience with not having any work done versus people who maybe have had work done. So
how that impacts how you feel about yourself.
Absolutely.
Which is
crazy.
If you really think about it, okay. So go into that. I want to hear. Yeah.
So
share some comments.
From looking even at the article, because they shared a lot of stuff with me. Of their favorite comments that went really well or perform well.
Yeah.
Let's see. So it says, wait 1 second. Okay. So these are some of the positive comments. Not having cosmetic procedures is the new flex. Mark my words. Another added, being real and natural is the real flex. So many flexes. As someone who has Botox, fillers, and plastic surgery, honestly, good for you. Sometimes I miss my old nose. It reminds me of my dad because I had his exact nose. You are beautiful and staying true to yourself will always be a flex. One thing this world lacks now is uniqueness. It is beautiful to choose to stay true to you and love yourself. It's becoming rare. Sorkin's post sparked a divided response. While many praised her for standing firm in her beliefs and sticking to her natural looks, others questioned the assumption that every woman at the party had undergone cosmetic enhancements. Some critiques argued that choosing plastic surgery does not inherently indicate insecurity or a lack of self-worth, while others voiced that her message was mean-spirited. A few added that they think individuals who have opted for cosmetic enhancements in their youth will end up being botched. Here are some of the negative comments. You could use a bit of filler. Another added, how do you even know that you were the only one without lip fillers and surgery? Great
True.
point.
Yeah.
Did you personally ask all of them? No. Not very girl of you. Well, that is a pick-me video if I've ever seen one. Botox wouldn't fix how mean-spirited this is. These women will end up botched. Confidence is attractive, not filler. I know people say we should not plastic surgery shame, but I really hate how the prevalence and accessibility of these procedures makes normal, beautiful, natural women feel ashamed of themselves.
Yeah.
Another, I'm going to leave it on this. The pressure is real, and we should be having conversations around aesthetic inflation, collective care, and what we are teaching the next generation about self-acceptance. We live in a culture that manufactures insecurity for profit. I have the chills.
Yeah.
It is sad that body modification is so normalized. It is becoming expected, which doesn't leave room for individual choice. I cannot express how seen I felt. I've been going to women conferences and almost everyone has fillers, Botox, their body's done, and I'm just sitting there like.
Yeah.
So as you can see, there's a lot of emotion that
yeah.
It's, I mean, and I see everyone. It's not that I'm here judging people who have Botox or fillers. I was just sharing a very real experience that I, as a 27-year-old woman, had in the bathroom alone.
Yeah.
And it wasn't to make anyone who has any work done ashamed. It was just one experience that I was having.
I know, babe.
And it's like, how do we keep up with this?
Well, that's the real question.
Yeah.
That is the real meat in us opening up conversation about this. I think, Sky, the hater comments, look, you found a really sweet spot in allowing yourself to go, look, if I'm going to put myself out there on a platform, people are going to have opinions. People are going to say things. So regardless. So it's like, just, okay. All right, let's talk. And that's why we're here, because I want to talk about this stuff. And so I think the defensive nature in those comments, it is a protection, okay? So that's why we call them defense mechanisms for a reason. Anytime we feel blamed, judged, put down, criticized, misunderstood, controlled, we are going to protect ourselves. We're going to go, you just want to get attention, or so the reality in that moment of some of those comments, I think it gets created, Skylar, because let's just say some of the comments were from people that have had some sort of enhancement procedures. Well, honestly, when someone's making a post like that, it actually, some people are interpreting it as if it is a criticism or they did something wrong. Maybe some of it is, did I do the right thing? Oh my gosh, do people see through this? Are people also judging me and looking at me like I'm this like attention-seeking individual because I've gone to this extreme? Are they trying to tell me that I don't feel good about myself? Is this girl trying to say that I don't have self-esteem because do you hear this?
Yep,
you never said that.
Never said that.
But that's what's going on, is you're coming up against this like contrast to somebody's soul. And that isn't a moment to go, whoa. This isn't an opportunity to take down one another. This is an opportunity for us women to come together, regardless of the stigma, regardless of the pressure, regardless of whether we've done something like this or not. Let's not tear each other down. And then you also heard some of those people that were like, I did that. I got a nose job, I got a rhinoplasty, and now I feel like I don't have my father and part of me. Let's honor that. What's that like for you? How can we find other areas of your life or within your being that you can cultivate that expression of your Father? What? You're going to, I don't know.
No, Mom, yes.
It's
crazy. And I think that's like my mission through my platform and podcast is to start asking these questions, because if we don't ask them, then there's not going to be any change. We're not going to be able to grow. And I really hope that women out there, regardless of whether or not you do have work done, like, what really matters, you guys? Like, what really matters is who you are internally. And I know we always say this, but it's really knowing that your worth is something that only you can define.
Yeah. And it's not attached to any externality ever. You know, it's you've got you. And you're going to have you despite, regardless, anything that you're facing in life. God forbid, you know, just like you had this situation happen to you and then it went viral and then you had these comments, regardless of any of that, those things, you have you. Yeah. You're like, I can ride all that stuff and let it take me down. Or it's like, look, there's some work to be done here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's on me, like how I'm going to navigate all of that. And that's what happened to me in that moment. I was like, regardless of me feeling less than because of these other people, I'm not blaming anyone. I think everyone should do what makes them feel the most empowered and beautiful version of themselves. And if that is enhancing your lips, enhancing any part of your body, go for it, regardless. Like,
know that
send
first.
But know why you're doing it and live in that confidently and beautifully. And I had to remind myself, okay, if I do decide to get a lip filler enhancement, why am I doing that?
Right.
Is it because I really need that to feel my most empowered and confident version of myself? No, because I realized in that bathroom, that exact moment that I filmed and posted, I realized that for Skylar, for me personally, all of that stuff at that party was just noise.
Yeah.
It's me against me. That's on no one else but myself.
Right.
And so I had to have that conversation with Sky to be like, who is Sky? Know thyself. Like, what's going on in here? My value is not that. My value is what's going on in here.
Yeah.
My value is authenticity. My purpose for being here is to meet amazing people, to put myself out there. I might be a little bit insecure right now, but how can I remind myself of who I really am?
Yeah, but love up on that girl.
And that's
right?
that was the pivot in that moment. I was like, okay, regardless, if I'm going to be remembered for anything, let it be that I was brave enough to be myself. And in that moment, I was like, all right, I got to go live this.
Yeah.
And so I got myself out of the bathroom and I went back out into the dining area and I was like, I'm good.
It's powerful. That's like immediate resilience, right?
Regardless.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And I think, you know, when I'm just going to kind of go back to when you said you were in that event and it was like, you're like, holy cow, like these women, I look different than them. Something's wrong. See how you immediately saw that situation. You were telling yourself the story was, I look different. Something is wrong, which then will trigger just a well of shame, embarrassment, insecurity, self-doubt. Yeah, I mean, we can go on and on, right? And then that actually will unfortunately have a ripple effect, you know, typically that you go back out and you just kind of like withdraw, you shut down, you don't communicate as much, you're not putting yourself out there because what's driving you, right?
Fear.
The fear.
Not good enough.
Yeah. So I loved how you were able to take that moment and have a you moment and talk to that girl who was like, I don't feel good, Sky. I feel different. So it wasn't a thirsty, attention seeking. No. It was like your purpose and mission there was to expand who you were, not physically, but on other levels. And you could have so easily gone down the rabbit hole of staying in that kind of darker space and judging yourself. and interpreting that the way you get attention and conversation. It was really about conversation and connection.
Yeah.
You were trying to make connections. You weren't trying to seek that external attention. It was like, I want to have these talks with these people. But do I have to change the way I look to get in the door? No. But that's what we face. And I think these conversations are really important because, yes, there's a self-worth component. Yes, there's like an identity component, psychological, emotional, all that.
And like intimate and romantic. And it's so interesting. I do want to say one more thing.
No,
it's
please.
Like, me personally, and this is just my experience, it's like, I don't even think it's about men. I think it's literally women against women.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, well, if a lot of women look this way and they are getting more attention from men, then do the other women have to look the same way in order to get that attention?
Yeah.
It's super confusing.
Well, I think you're looking at like, shoot, what's getting in the way
Yeah.
here? And I agree. I think sometimes we fall prey to thinking this is what's going to make us hot, sexy, and attractive to the opposite sex, or it's usually opposite sex. Okay.
Totally, yeah.
And that's how I'm going to get a partner, because again, you're looking at the beauty standards of what you're getting nailed with social media culture, the influencer culture,
celebrities,
all that stuff. So it's the beauty standards that are shifting in front of you. And then you're starting to see, oh, she's doing that. She's doing that. Maybe that, oh, she's, you kind of make these judgments and these associations that you need to look a particular way because that's what men find attractive. But I think if you and I were to go outside and go on the streets right now and we
ask
polled,
guys.
yeah, we did a poll with men. I kind of think majority of it being like, no, I'm really into that. And for those who have to, it's okay.
Yes.
But just realize what is moving the needle. Are you trying to keep up with the standards of beauty? We know they shift. And or is there that, like you said, that intrasexual competition that goes along between women to a certain degree? It's really
And I think
profound.
a lot of this is living on social media.
Yeah.
There's enough stress with the body image that it's just so annoying that now it's like this. But again, it's like you have to ask yourself, why do I feel the need to change these parts of myself?
I think also as you age, you see the youth. That's the hard thing, boo.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, honey, I love you. I look at you. I'm like, you're gorgeous. You're intelligent. You're dynamic. There's so much there. Of course, you got to know that and feel that inside. Yeah. And the other thing that's so boggling is the aging process.
I
and
know.
we
And I'm not
battle
even
that
there yet. But I'm sure that when I
Yes.
am there, I can 100% empathize.
Yes.
And I think that any woman should do what makes her feel the most alive, the most zesty, the most confident version of herself.
Yep.
It's your life. Like,
Yep.
we're not here. No one should have the right to judge that.
Absolutely.
Like, you do you regardless. And that's the essence of this conversation.
Yes.
Don't you think?
Yes.
That's what I wish I could tell everyone who's like hating on the post. It's like, this is not.
It's okay. The hate is giving us juice.
Agreed. Thank you.
I like it.
Thank you.
I love you, girl.
So, Mom, for any girl listening,
yes.
what is like your takeaway? Like, if you could share one message, like one mama therapist hotline message with them
Yeah.
about the plastic era, living in the plastic era,
Yeah.
what would it be, Mama?
Well, I would say it's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
And I would say I go back to that point of this is an epidemic, my sweet ones. And I also say, look, let's dig a little deeper. Let's be smarter. Let's be kinder. Yeah. Let's support one another. Let's really get underneath the externalities and go, tell me about you. Tell me about your heart. You're beautiful on the outside. But what's going on in here and what's driving you? What's driving you? Right? This fades. It does. It goes. But what are you doing now to seed the truth within you? What are you doing now to like let that eternal beauty and light come out? And I know it's so, I don't want it to sound so trite, but it's so precious, you know? So regardless, I agree. I think this is a you against you. It's a battle we face internally, and it causes a storm inside, a massive storm of self-doubt, hatred, right? Self-hatred. And then we kind of lash that out or leash it out on other women. What is that about? No. No, like that to me is, you know, I think we got to reel it in and have these type of conversations.
And I think when you have the conversation, the really real and raw and honest conversation with yourself about like, why am I feeling insecure? Why am I reaching towards these things to change the way that I look? I think once we take like responsibility over like our why, it will inspire other women to ask themselves the same question.
I mean, this has been going on forever. I'm even thinking about like, and we can end here, but I'm like, it even started like makeup.
Yeah.
Right? Like when we go out without makeup, oh my gosh, I'm not wearing makeup. And we feel like you don't have your face on. It even starts with that, right? To anti-wrinkle stuff. Then my thing is to younger women, you can't fight that train. So just hold off for a little bit, as long as you can.
Yeah.
As you're seeding that strength and that beauty and that power within.
Mom, if you could go back to your 20-something self in regards to beauty standards and maybe like a moment that you faced where you were like, fuck, I'm not enough.
Yeah.
What is it that you would tell her if you were able to like sit with her right now?
Oh my gosh. Like I said, Sky, when I was in my 20s, I think the main pressure I was feeling at that time was being thin enough, like having the right body type to be attracted. Again, it's that same thing. Like, is the guy gonna find me attractive? That the girls, all the hot girls were all the skinny girls, or, you know, so I think that was kind of the pressure for me then. So that question you ask, I think I have to be with her now. I think it's my 58-year-old.
What would you tell her?
It's okay. Like, it makes me sad. Because it's like I can sit there on Zoom and I'll go like this.
Mom,
and I'm
stop.
but that's what happens. So I think it's like that never ends. And it gets more and more. So it's not my 20-something girls. It's my 58-something-year-old pushing 60. And she's there and she's like, holy cow, like, girlfriend, it's not looking so good.
Mom,
you're looking, no, but it's like you start to feel
irrelevant.
I feel irrelevant. That's
Mom,
not my truth. That's not my
maybe
truth.
why women feel like
Yes.
to stay relevant and to stay youthful
Yes.
and beautiful and to be seen, that like you, like being youthful and looking that way.
Otherwise you feel invisible. You know, it's like even I can go out to a lovely dinner between Nani, who's in her early mid-30s.
She looks like she's 30.
You look like
this
it.
is my grandma, by the way.
And you, my 27-year-old daughter, I am literally invisible between the two of you.
Mom, no, you're freaking
But
not.
do you see, like,
I know.
it's
It's
really,
like, where do you...
I'm not.
No.
I'm not. So when you ask me the question of what I want to say to
Yeah.
her, it's her now.
Yeah.
It's powerful. So it doesn't end. That's the multi-generational thing. And that's why the youth sometimes feel judged by the older generation, because they're like, why are you doing this now? But maybe the enhancement for them or the little procedures make them feel good.
Yeah.
So just know
It's never going to end.
this is the train.
Okay. Mom, I love you so much.
I love you too, baby. Thank you for having me here and inviting me into the space to open up this really difficult, amazing conversation.
I love you.
And I just really do hope that it gets people thinking.
Me too.
And percolating a bit, and maybe, doing their own pivot regardless of what they're facing.
What's your why? I think that's big.
My why for what?
No, for everyone, just to leave them with that. What's your why? It's constantly checking in with
oh my
you.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. The Mama Therapist Hotline segment is literally my favorite part of my podcast.
Aww.
And this woman is just everything to me.
Stop it.
It makes me sad that you don't think you're beautiful.
It makes me sad that you don't think you're beautiful. And we do think we're beautiful.
We have our moments.
Yeah, exactly.
Our bathroom moments.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a constant evolution.
Yeah.
It's a constant process. It is.
And I just want you guys to know, and just put this out there, send us your questions or topics that you want my mom and I to address.
Yes.
For these Mama Therapist Hotline segments. We love you guys, regardless.
Absolutely.
It's on us. It's on you. How are you going to live? How are you going to show up regardless? We've got this.
We do.
I love you. New episodes drop every Monday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube.